specifically. Okay. I'm just getting some things prepped. Section. Next song that. Okay. Check. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Blah. I have a Labubu on my head.
Her name is Yam.
I have Yam on my head. There's the announcement. Alright, let me transition over. Because I wasn't 100% certain how I was going to do this, but I did want to stream today and not make it like a high pressure event where I'm streaming a game necessarily, but I also feel like I've been slacking on working on my D&D stuff. Although the system is Pathfinder 2nd edition. I figured I would, you know, at least... Tabletop stuff, yes. At least start, at the very worst, get some things transferred into Foundry, which is the VTT system that I use. And make sure that all my resources are in there, so that way I don't necessarily have to, like, dive across, like, 13 Word documents to figure out what the fuck I need to do or what to say. And if you're wondering why there's music, it would be rather dull if it was... Actually, triple check. Is it actually playing on the screen? No. Or at least if it is, I do not see it. Hang on. It is not. It stopped playing because I don't have it on the screen. You know, that helps when you actually do that. Give me a second. That should have added it back. No, it didn't. Now it added back. My apologies. It just cut suddenly. All the music that is going to be playing during this stream is not part of Foundry. The majority of the songs that I've got on this playlist are going to be from one Popsky. Check on spelling though, because your boy is self-conscious about that kind of stuff and doesn't want to like. So that is P-O-P, as in Papa, Oscar, Papa. S, as in...
Guy.
Sure. K, as in Kilo. And Y-Y, as in Yankee, Yankee. To spell that handle, if we want to go cyberpunky about it. There are some songs that are from the in-development game Heartbound, which my brain is currently blanking on who wrote that music. Which the credited artist on every track of that is, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, Stin van Wakeren, or Stin van Wakeren, if it's more German.
Yam is here to help stream.
Aw, thank you, Yam. And then I also have Stardew Valley songs in this playlist, which is... the contributing artist is Concerned Ape. Those I know I'm okay to use. Both because Popsky is explicitly stated numerous times whenever I've at least seen him on stream that it's okay to use his music to stream with or use in the background of YouTube videos. Pirate Software, Thor, is basically making it so, provided that you're not doing it for monetary purposes, you could use his music from his game for whatever the fuck you want, and I presume the artist is agreeing on that. And Concerned Ape is Concerned Ape, and he's likewise like, hey, I wrote this music, you can use it whatever the fuck you want. But if at any time you want to know the current track, like, you're more than welcome to ask me, and I can provide it. But we got music at the very least. It's also a little bit for me, so that way I can focus. It shouldn't be that loud, and I can always turn it up as necessary. Enough of my preamble. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I didn't want to be a bastard and people to be all like, hey, why is there music? And then not have it in the VOD, like, this is why. And all of it's okay. Even if I can't necessarily credit all of it, because that would be some work. Fuck, my food's ready. Hang on. Oh my god, I just want to get this started. My apologies. Feels media, what happened? Oh. End of a song is what happened. Got it. Okay. So probably the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to start by grabbing some stuff. History. Probably because I haven't written anything. Okay. And then nations. We have nations. I have locations of Tolrigo. I thought that was something I need. This is why I want to centralize everything and put it all in Foundry. That way I don't have to keep scrambling to find it. Why do I keep opening Explorer? I have like 4 of the fucking things open right now. Christ. You're not gonna see what I'm doing off of Foundry. Mostly because I'm weird and like I'm paranoid about streaming my desktop, but I guess more so just for the specific intensity on the graphics card and CPU for doing that. Because so like capturing the full screen, at least in the past, when I tried to record stuff, God, this shit's ancient. I don't even think it's on the internet anymore. It would be quite intensive on the computer, and as such, wouldn't actually do it. I am horrible at multitasking. Give me just a tick. My tip time. That's where it should be. Elos. Full screen that. You'll at least be able to see some of the stuff that I've written. This one I think is scrap. Create a subfolder. Oh, and those are like player-specific notebooks. I haven't peeked too much in the player notebooks. Player notebooks are for the players. Duh! We'll create a folder. This will be converted to Foundry. Give it like a light blue. A friend finally responded to something I sent them like a while ago. But there's a VTuber, Lucy Pyre, that gives me vibes like they're one of my friends practically, and it's a little bit of like how they talk and their quick wit. And it's very much like I shared that information with my friend. I'm like, this VTuber reminds me of you. Or at least they give me you vibes. I forgot. Right! I forgot this song was on the Heartbound soundtrack because this is basically one of the songs the composer made in protest because Thor wanted a whole bunch of, like, sound effects of, like, squeaking of some kind and then never fucking used any of them. So this composer just grabbed them and made a song with them. Literally as, like, a double middle finger to Thor. I fucking forgot about that. Also, the trivia that I fucking absorbed, man. You'll at least be able to see some of the stuff that I'm doing. Old Elos lore. This is perfect. Honestly, I could probably, like, just do this like this, but also, I have to set the permissions on this folder so that way, like, players can't see it. Also, as just an overhead, while it is not impossible that, like, my system can still be breached by, like, an outside force, I've at least made it so that way, currently, nobody can access my Foundry. I've actually stopped all inbound communications with Foundry. Which is primarily how it would connect, I'm pretty sure. I actually don't know what its routing protocol would be. I don't know if it would be TCP or UDP. I might want to look into that just for fun. Anyway. Also, I'm very unoriginal. What do you mean I can just... Okay. There's also some things that I don't know. Hello, Jindra, how is you? There are just some things that I don't know the most of about Foundry, which is really cool. I'm actually going to reread through this, just so that way I see it. Quick, another misfits with details are more refined than what I've known at this point, but it bears mentioning. In short, there are people in this world that believe they can attain godhood in a number of ways, and they're not entirely incorrect. At one such point, I could have ascended to such a status, but I declined. I drive all motor to research. A little cold and very tired. Fair enough. This is going to be a little bit more of a cozy stream. Just me yapping, having music play in the background while I make an effort to work on my tabletop RPG stuff. Regardless, I'm not here to prattle on about my past. The contents of the tombstone specified what was known on how to ascend to sainthood. I'm sure you're all quite familiar. No? Well, not necessarily an issue to us that people attain a godly status, but the gods despise desecration of their title like this. Okay, I know why I ultimately scrapped this lore. I'm actually going to skip that, because that's Proton John's end of stream theme. And we're not ending stream, no! This is fake. Like, I'm still going to use, like, the Ancients storyline. God, how original of me. Okay, but that's converted. These are old-ass session notes. Yeah, those will not be very useful. This will probably also be scrapped. This was an area idea I had. Also not very original if you were to actually read about it. So this doesn't belong in all. Also, one thing I realized from my readings, I don't mind shit pro tags like, say, Naofumi, as long as the story acknowledges that they're pieces of crap and doesn't pretend they're heroes. Flips the counter of days since Rising of the Shield Hero has been mentioned to 0 again. But fair. Because, like, that is one of the biggest criticisms that I can level at Rising of the Shield Hero, is that it doesn't make Naofumi out to be a piece of shit. I think I can subcategorize this, can I? No, it does not appear so. Okay. Alright, so scrapped. But it very much makes him out to be a hero, and then points out, like, the hypocrisy insofar as, like, here are what all the other heroes are doing, and how Naofumi gets mad, angry about how they're irresponsible. And it's like, dude, you own slaves, and you have, like, really short temper, and you're kind of a dick to a lot of people. You are not the hero. Speaking of, if you want to talk about a piece of media that I do not appreciate very much, it is quintessential quintuplets. The first good hero we meet is Lark. Fucking exactly! Lark, my beloved. Oh god, it's that mess. Yeah, no, you want to talk about a protagonist that, like, should not be liked, or the protagonist? Yeah, talk about that protagonist. I fucking despise his guts. And I have tried reading this manga. Keys in this party, actually heroes, right? I have tried reading that fucking manga all the way up to, I think, volume 4 at this point, and I am still, like, tearing at the pages, trying to strangle this asshole. He is such a dick. And if at any point someone were to try to argue to me that the point is that he's supposed to be, like, socially awkward or developmentally different compared to other people, I would fucking slap them. Because it's like, bitch, I am autistic. And I sure shit don't act like that. I never acted like that. He's just an asshole. Oh god, yeah, no, I wasn't even subtle. Yeah, Raven's going to take a master inspiration for refrain and labyrinth to refrain. No, god, no, this was not even fucking subtle. Within Raven's hold will be a pair of outsiders, the Dusk Warlock, Desmond, and his apprentice. Subtlety? What is that? I had 0. God, yeah, no, that's scrapped. I still want to do something with that kind of an idea. With, like, a labyrinth underneath a town. But I don't need to fucking do something so tactless and so very much rips off a fucking IP like that. So yeah, that'll be in the scrapped, converted to Foundry book. I have another one. This one's a thing. World building. Head page. Text. Eldritch gods. Yeah, Eldritch gods. Who's the fuck? Do the worship deities play into their existence? Are they diametrically opposed? What do these Eldritch gods want? How long have they been around? Is the primal being once... Or is the primal being... one such Eldritch god? How does Locke much feel about an Eldritch god resurrecting someone? Right, because this actually was to play into a player's lore about that specifically. Or backstory. But now they've, like, you know, gone beyond that. But I'm reading Nihilist, Merciless Maiden. Oh boy, is the title character not a hero. But the story revels in that they are hyper self-interested with only 3 goals. Promoting TV, fighting people, teaching people to be strong. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that at least sounds a little bit more interesting. Because you know what their deal is, and the conflicts will not feel quite as forced. Text document that I wrote that on. I believe, and I'm gonna triple check this, but the Pantheon of God should already be in this. It's actually specifically in compendium stuff. Character building, right there. Deities, Elos specific. Auna, Bedros, Ciela, Ginur, Idite, Elos, Cosma, Limur, Lakmos, Lorisil, Ninfine, Nella, Revius, Udea, Vadal, Vistus, Vogstus, Yignir, Yone, and Yovalzi, which Yovalzi is a deity that was added because of a character's backstory. So I don't think I need to add that specifically Pantheon of God stuff. Possibly Oyar, Essius, Codion, and Buneus. I need to keep this 4, but I want to flesh them out at some point, so that way I have some possible antagonistic gods that are also evil. Like, they've beaten up the local mafia / yakuza, and were disappointed at how easy they were, so they offered to teach them in exchange for burying the metaphorical hatchet. Oh my. That is a choice. That is a choice. What are they? Just Goku, but in a different, characterization? I shouldn't need that one. Well, I could create a folder and then hide it in that folder. But yeah, this should be under world building page. It's not yet implemented. There we go. Oh my god, what is that formatting? The follower alignment is unnecessary anymore, but these were created before Pathfinder 2nd Edition had a revision. Evil Goku to early Vegeta would be accurate. Jesus. That is fantastic. But yeah, I already have Yovalzi, who is subtitled as the Lady of Snow. Because the other idea is supposed to be that while she is a goddess of death, she is also the goddess of winter. And as such, like, in some early magical ages, she was considered, like, the Grim Reaper was considered to be someone that would wander the land during winter to reap and harvest as many souls as possible. And there would be a little bit of truth behind that. Because as worked out with the player with this backstory and with that goddess as part of it, Yovalzi is actually trapped inside the moon. Okay, that's not important. Oh yeah, I wrote that as like part of a thing I wanted to try to completely commit to on Blue Sky. Yeah, I thought that was still too hot. Been waiting for my food to cool down so I can actually eat it. No home. Yeah, Garrison Ruby Claw, one of the first kings of the area, now known as Raven's Den. Meant to be a kobold or possibly like dragon-esque figure. Basically, he was hopeful that he could unite Ray Runestone under one banner. Ultimately failed, but that don't mean he didn't try. Should all be stuff that is presently. Yeah, it's just not notepadded. That's right. Okay. Because I wanted there to be two problems, and then one big underlying problem. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, this is helpful, because I've also got some books that help me plan this kind of stuff out. I'm actually going to put this in its own journal. Important things. The BBEG list. Hey, it auto-formatted. Kind of. Might have to rename some of them. You don't need to be in heading 1 as well. You should be in heading 2. Oh boy, look at that name and tell me what that's inspired from. Yeah, Bergenstrong, Sidobian. Up the Dragon. I'm gonna rename that one. Hephaelius Bericulus. First king of Beriga. Sidobian's fine. We're renaming him Onyx Tooth. Yeah, Sidobian Onyx Tooth of the Dragon Singers. Sidobian claims the way Elos is currently wrought is not in the ideal image of the gods. As per the Age of Dragons, dragons used to freely exist upon the surface before they were cast aside by the combined efforts of their own kin and mortal kind. Though his following isn't massive, he has a keen mind for strategy and seems to have something in mind for the world. If left to his own devices, it would likely see fruition. And these are like people that the party haven't met, particularly this bastard, because he's supposed to be like the big guy who, like, if things can proceed to that point, is doing some shit that the party is not supposed to be aware of. Like, there aren't supposed to be signs, but I can, like, leave little breadcrumbs that shit ain't right. Yeah, I gotta reread some of this and actually like edit it a bit. You can tell some of these names were generated. He seems to delegate most of the work to others. Their success of building the cult and getting as far as they have is not his own success, but the success of others.
This will be a sweet song.
Lyrics. Lyrics.
You feel like a crusty song.
No lyrics! How dare. Anyway. He seems to believe this is primarily thanks to his own work, and is seldom willing to admit his own personal failures. Rumored to have been an adventurer in their own time, yet nothing more. Sidobian isn't perceived to be a threat to military groups on his own, save for those who dare challenge him alone. He seems to shy from battles featuring multiple individuals and himself, however, preferring instead to either flee or otherwise make their cult do battle. Due to being the literal leader of a religious movement, to be so kind with terms, they have a fair amount of influence and wealth. It's been theorized by some that they have agents operating on the governmental level. Due to the size of the cult, Sidobius or Sidobian is under continuous scrutiny from the powers that be in each nation. Even so, they seem to wield a great deal of political power. Something of a grand strategist, Sidobian keeps his cards close to his chest. Many times can an adventurer point to some influence of the Dragon Singers in their quests. The issue being is that there was seemingly a response to the accusations brought to the cult's feet. If there's a grand strategy, it won't be easy to convince the powers of law. Numbers. Corruption. Some comment that Sidobian actually looks like an ancient dragon known as Kutal Mak the Destroyer. Though their small stature doesn't seem to imply as such, those religious backgrounds get bad feelings when Sidobian is in front of them. That, and they're so deeply dug into their ideology, it almost seems to be the only thing they care of. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And you, Starcaller, carries his family name well. Well, that said, in spite of being the firstborn son of the Star Shatter Beyu, Star Shatterer, Beolv is not set to inherit the throne when she passes. He doesn't seem bothered by this. He seems to seek power for other reasons. Mad General of Baraga, what the Mad General of Baraga has in store for the world is something of a mystery even Aetherblade isn't intimate thereof. I made it so he's corrupt to the core, so he can't be reasoned with. He's nearly unparalleled with strength. He's quite cunning. He lacks influence, and he doesn't plan, he acts. Okay, yeah, that looks fine now. Ha, Afka Starcaller. Gods. Could I be less subtle? I mean, yes, I could just put the K back, and there you go. But I at least want there to be a hint of, like, you know, subtlety. Right, and if you format it properly, like, it'll actually show up like this. History of Girnoi. Yep, that should already be in the here. What? Oh, hatching. This was Galvus. Galvus Moonblade. This was old Elo's floor specifically. Arrogant alliance for one of the other more major nations here in Karanoi. Utopia has been a bit of an enigma. The Adventurers Guild supplies the Berrigan populace with map after map of the further explored continent, lacking airships or any more modern modes of transportation, trains or motorized carts. They've been doing what they can on foot. Apparent train is perplexing. Forest falls. South beyond the desert is shockingly a wintry desert that opens to tropical paradise after miles upon miles of cold and then desert. According to the interesting geography of Elos, Utomi passes through one of the poles of the planet. Paradise even lies where said geologists state that a sort of tropical zone should lie. Forests discovered. There are beasts and creatures we've seen before, spoken of in hushed fairy tales. Was just as interesting as the population of dragons across the land, not unlike Karanoi. A whole slew of colors and metals populated Utomi, each with territory not unlike those here in Karanoi, flexing their knowledge of Draconic, almost exactly their own. Dragon having made its home from here to there, the gold and silver dragon having begun exploring where it can. My God. Can I use the proper form of there to save my life? Ugh. It's not that big of a deal because this will probably end up being scrapped. But there are elements of it that I'm like, no, keep it around, keep it around. Elnoril, that was this the ideal one. Well, loaded, just didn't. Right. That's funny. It's a little image that's like. I couldn't tell you what fucking site it's from. Probably like Tumblr if I had to guess. But it's like, I propose a new cheap form of therapy. When you encounter ridiculous, rude people, tell your DM about them so your DM can make them into NPCs in your tabletop game so you can get some catharsis. I forgot I saved that. And I didn't need to convert too terribly much. Right, and then this should be part of the nation. Yes, this is part of the nation. So I already have that one. Player character stuff. Old. Keelan Whitaker. I just realized I technically don't have any for Silas. Or a folder, at least. I probably don't need anything. Okay. No, I do have a folder for Silas. I just didn't have his bloody last name. Why? There we go. I'm actually going to archive all this. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it goes in the archive, too. Thank you, me. We'll be okay for the moment. Bounce around a little bit. Oh yeah, no, this one's definitely scrapped. Yeah, old story art plans. Pretty close. It's okay to trash. There we go. It's okay to trash like your old stuff, but I prefer to scrap it. It's like sometimes like you can find bits of good stuff. Beatrix, Alexandra the False Goddess, David Silvertongue, Elrin Tom the Cruel, Elrion the Moonblade, Prodigy of Espionage, Coral the Reaper, Nokiso Grayson, Oda Angui, Toby the Shut-In Adventurer, Valiana Valmond, the Queen's Shadow, Beltrin the Red-Eyed Fiend. Barbarian, Stone Guardians. Guys. Oh, right, this fucker. I'm like, who was Leothric? That was a character's father that is no longer part of the game. I don't even remember the answer to that riddle. I never wrote it down. That's old lore. Of which, again, I expect that most of this will be scrapped. There was certainly some shit I had planned. Woof. These are certainly some choices. I mean, I'm even reading some of it, and I'm like, really? Okay. Very human-centric. I'm even seeing, like, the old way that I would do documentations. And while my current way hasn't really changed from that, it's certainly a little bit updated. Yeah, no, that's what this is. Fucking page breaks and everything. It used to be that things were measured by 150-year eras. Kinda glad I moved on from that. And the current year in the game is 1577, rather than 1245. Made more sense to me for what I was going for. That's mostly like old like store information and stuff that wouldn't apply to Pathfinder. Oh god, what is this? This document doesn't really apply for what's going on. This is what I made like almost a decade ago, actually. Also did a whole like mimic meta magic feats that would use the what the fuck was the skill actually called in D&D 3.5? It was called something. I think it was spellcraft or something. What I might actually be able to use, though. Oh, right, okay. Because the party... Originally, the campaign was to take place exclusively in a recently discovered continent. And this continent was called Utomi. I don't remember what the town was called, though. The continent was Utomi, and the town was, like... something or other. My god, could I have been any less subtle about some of my fucking references? Jesus Christ. Blah. Considering how little is actually developed on this list and how many references there are on there, I think this one is okay to just not convert and scrap. If I need something, I can grab it for inspiration. Hello, baby.
Hello.
Was the area called Waitin? The area was called Waitin. So much of this design is very video gamey designed, and it's making me a little upset, because it's like, Jesus Christ, what was I doing to myself? Like, I can be a little nicer about my design, man. I turned myself into the computer. Why? Why'd I do that?
Isn't that kind of what a DM is?
Yes, but DM is also not as efficient as a computer.
So you want to be less efficient?
Well, I mean, no.
I'm
I don't mean, like, I just don't need to, like, do all this work as, like, video game crap. That stuff with fluff. Meh! Wow, that list of converting stuff was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I thought there was going to be a bit more information, but apparently not. Still a bit peckish. I'll probably end up making another bit of food. I'll let another ad run by before doing that. I know I didn't like acknowledge the other previous ad. It's because this is just such a chill night, and I don't really expect folks to miss too much. Just that screen. My generic battle map, which doesn't even have the map of Kirnoi. To do here, I know I've zoned it. Yeah, I've regioned it. I still haven't officially named this area, but we have Baraga in the center, Jintu here, Torigo here, Kelvin here, Contolda here, Ravensten here. So did I officially decide how long it takes to get across a number of, like, tiles? The average player speed is 25 feet. Frankly, I would say it'd take a day to get across 2 tiles. I think that ultimately mean it's a very small world, but I prefer it to be a smaller world than one that's overly large. And this was made using a different system. This, like, map. I'd probably redesign it a little bit if I can, because this was using... what's it called? Drakon! Planning a hex crawl. Yep. If I recall correctly, it took about 3 in-game days to get from Bursvale, which is where the party started this time, up to the lake ruins. I would definitely redo this map. I'm just not very artistically inclined, is the problem. Even then, this map technically isn't even finished. Because, like, this is supposed to be Alpate, or the Golden Plains, which is, like, human land. This island's meant to be a nation. This is meant to be a nation. This island's supposed to be a thing. This is supposed to be a whole-ass nation that's, like, a reference to Limsa Lominsa. That's supposed to be a thing. And then this is a nation, this is a nation. They both have names. I don't know what to do with that. And, like, this section here, which isn't zoned, is also supposed to be a nation. I just haven't come up with the name of it yet. Because, and this one's kind of important for this. Because all this takes place in Girnoi. And this specific section here is mostly supposed to be inhabited by Gripply, which are like frog people. So it's kind of like I would want it to be like more swampy, kind of like humid kind of climate. But it's not part of what's called the Berrigan Alliance, which is like everybody else over here that's already been like zoned out. And like politically, they've just been left alone because there's no reason to go over there. Berriga doesn't have a reason to go over into their lands and would just sooner leave them alone. I think if anything, Berriga would have their eyes on taking this over, because that's currently kingless. But they haven't done anything because they're trying to respect, because this is supposed to be like a huge nation of like fiefdoms and shit. Kind of like Ravenston over here. Although Ravenston is ultimately a little bit smaller. Make it a little faster. Yeah, frankly, three tiles a day is good. There's like a quick way to make a note of that wasn't just writing it down somewhere. But I suppose that's the best thing to have. Let me pull up my session notes. Declared rulings. World map. 3 hexes traversed equals 1 day of travel. Approximately 1 hex. For my hex crawls, I tend to 1 tile per period of travel. Depending on the size of the world, it could be day, week, or month. I suppose. Something went on with the calendar, and I don't remember what, but... I suppose that could be done, but then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Well, on foot, that would make sense. And because of the more temperate climate over here, I'll also double check with my group and see what they think about that. Because I don't want to make that decision and just be all like, oh, well, we're doing this now. That's just... Be approved by the table. But I wanted this to have a hex crawl element, as it's called. Just so that way, like, 1, there's a world map, and 2, players have a bit more control where they're going and have a visual idea of where they are and where they need to go as necessary. That was important to me. I'm thinking a project that I could do I'm not sure how well I'd want to, or how well it could be done on stream. I do have GIMP, but you wouldn't be able to see it, but it's down here on my taskbar. I could probably just take this shit, trace over the majority of the shapes, and basically see about how I could redo the shapes on the map, include some hexes that are... I actually believe I can check out the spacing on it. Figure. Grid. They're 50 pixels apart. Helpful. What's the measurement, though? Grid type, hexagonal rows, even. Is it 50 pixels like this? I figured it'd be 50 pixels on like one side. But I can't bloody tell. Figure that out later. And you can tell I'm already like really slow at working like this, but one of the big things I want to do is... Oh, that just gets rid of it. Another map. That's what I need. How did I make a new map? Blarg. Oh, you know what? I also need to... There we go. So that way they can, like, navigate to it while they're still there, in case they, like, click off and go to Gernoi. That's where I am currently. Checks out, it would be here. Works in progress. Add a scene, which is... This one actually will have a specific name. Locations of Tolbergo. This is the Library of Ancients. I know, super original name. Only I can see it for right now. Also going to add Tolrigo. Not Tolrigo. Some bitch. Birdsvale, I believe. Yep. Just want to triple check that. Because I do want a working, like, map for this as well. The amount of unprepared I felt for this. Just the amount. Bleh. I mean, I can still get in there and actually do a little bit of work, I suppose. Ultimately, I would rather make this map in, like, GIMP, and then push it into Foundry once I'm ready for it. But seeing as I'm streaming, I can do this right now. I mostly just don't want to be fucking asked to, like, open up GIMP and then set it up so that way it can display on the stream when I'm gonna do it just the once or twice right now. I don't know how often I'll use it, but I, don't want to be doing that. God, I forgot I wanted to make a massive ass fucking, like, mansion style dungeon. Shit would have been rough. I still want to do one of those, but that's gotta be like a proper dungeon crawl. Here's the lakeside ruins. Okay. What do I need spacing wise? Ah, fuck, I miscounted. Damn it, give me a second. Well, or give it about like 4 more spaces on either side, left and right. So I need 32. For the width, which is 3,200 pixels. Well, we got that in spades. I'm gonna have additional padding around the scene background, which provides usable canvas. Appreciate that. Yeah, because that means we have 40 blocks. So we need 20, and then probably about 4, maybe 5, just for, like, getting a draft up. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Yeah, 36. And then still want to try to do 4 on either side. Value for other dimensions. Or unlink the dimensions. Fine, I'll unlink them. Gods. Unlink. Bleh. The reason I wanted to do this is because the library is kind of... I want to have a physical representation that's mostly for me to see how tall the library is. So like a vertical slice of how the library looks. And right now I've just been uber simple with the design. Tends to be how I work it. Snapping. No, you are not snapping. Snap controls. Draw, drag, move, drag. Toggle HUD, right click, edit, double click. Vault those. Ah. So crazy. No, I'm not crazy. It is doing some degree of snapping. But there's a more precise one, too. Okay. Or, not more precise, less precise. Config. For right now, we're going to use black. Wide. Factor. Fill. Text. What is that by? That is a 10 by 8. So why are you still red? Why are you red, you bastard? Ultimately, it's not going to have that chunk along the top. Oh, right. I don't have the fucking levels thing open. I have mixed feelings about this little module. Mixed feelings indeed. I might go forward without it and just, like, use a possibly bigger canvas and have my multiple floors just across the canvas instead. But for right now, I'll keep it. Keep drawing rectangles for the moment. I can force snap. What are you doing? Your default has been configured. Yeah. 3 wider. 9, 10, 12 up. 4, 8. 12 like that. That does not appear correct. Partly because of that. It is 12. I guess why it doesn't look... Okay, it does look correct once I, looked at it again. But I guess part of why it doesn't look correct is because that's almost square. That's not quite square. Just 9. This is just a method in which the library is segmented at the moment. And then this is the vertical view. Because this is mainly what I've gotten. I have not been focusing on this, I will be real, as far as my work is concerned. But I wanted this library to, on the outside, appear to have 4 floors. Old-ass library is tall, though. And in great condition, apparently. Don't ask me how that works. But. That other part. I should be able to do some shenanigans with a pen tool, maybe. Just not here. Yeah, I could, like, take this and erase that. Yeah, because the polygon won't quite do what I want it to either. Sadly. Also bits and bobs of like furniture that have been done as well. Such pain. Like, whoops. Because this is supposed to be a staircase, and I right-clicked, so it deleted it all. Wonderful. This is why I use a pen tool. But that's supposed to be a staircase right there. And it's a spiral staircase, and then there's supposed to be, like... This way I can cheat. A different kind of staircase here. That just, like... draw around that when it's selected, huh? That's just, like... Okay, well, I can't do that, apparently. That's just bad. Can I do a star, at least? Wow, no. God, no. Jesus H. Christ, no. There we go. That... Well, that looks okay. Kind of. Freehanding is hard, man. Okay. But then, like, there's supposed to be spacing. Oh, it's only too wide. Here. And here, no. There we go, because it's supposed to be like... This is set up as like a partition, because otherwise this used to be like wide and open. But because the library itself is not completely well known, it's kind of closely protected at the moment. Mostly for good reason. Mostly. And then there's a set of double doors here. But then there's supposed to be, like, books and shit in this room and everything. I'm gonna have to set this up in GIMP, aren't I? I don't wanna. That feels inconvenient. I know it's not, but it feels inconvenient. What? That's too damn bad, says my partner. My fiance. Sure that that's also here. Yeah, because I'm still peckish even after eating what is effectively a cheese-stuffed chicken breast with broccoli that is also stuffed in there. So I'm probably gonna up a little bit of macaroni. The only big thing that I don't know or have at the moment what the upper floors are going to look like. I might be able to figure that out with layers, which GIMP is going to be useful for. Thanks. Thank you, bot. I'm mostly thinking to myself, honestly, at this point. How to execute this. I should be able to execute it okay. I'm not sure if I can work on it for too long. Because... I just asked myself in my head, well, why not? And it's like, well, why not indeed? I guess I just don't want to force myself. Either way, it looks like ads are going to play in like 15 seconds, so I'm going to get up. I'm going to, like, make a bit more food. I will let the ads just kind of run. But otherwise, yeah, it's supposed to be more of a chill out, relaxing stream, so I ain't too worried about stuff. I don't know, go do your own thing. I just want to hang out and talk. Vocalize my learning process, stream my process even. I might, as a bit of a palate cleanser, if I get too disturbed or bored by what I'm working on, crack open one of the rule books that I have. Probably the Fabula Ultima one, if I'm being honest. I've been curious about cracking that one open. But yeah, I will be back. A handful more succulent calories. Give me a second. If I'm gonna set it up so I can actually capture GIMP while I work on this map. 3.0 revision 1. Alright. Then wait. It'd be so much easier just to do screen capture, but I don't want to like accidentally show off something. GIMP. Because my ass is too cheap for Photoshop. And you can't make me have it. So there. Trying to think of like how do I want to do this stream wise. The way that's set up now is fine, because basically like GIMP is currently on top, Foundry is hidden at the moment. I'm thinking in my brain like, is there a good way to where I can make it so GIMP can be quickly toggled out if I want to return to Foundry? And my brain is otherwise like, not the easy way is to set up like a scene that's the same but different and do a hotkey, and you know you don't want to do that. Ugh. But we'll hit it. Oops. Not through the game's main screen. My bad. Okay. I'm basically gonna copy the same dimensions. Remember, it was configured as maximum new image size in the preference dialog, currently 134.2 megabytes. My eyes! I flashbanged myself! Ugh. Merci! Ugh. Okay. The other thing I'm going to want is view. Show grid. Because I already have these preset up, so that way they're at 100 by 100. Turn on snap to grid. I need the pen tool. So in this case, it's just called the select tool. The paths tool. That one. This rectangle select would work fine. Yeah. I need a layer. New layer. Walls. Give me a tick. It's easier to see like the line count on Foundry than it is on my physical document, because I have a dot matrix graph paper, which means that counting the squares is a little bit harder because I have to physically visualize the squares. believe it was by 8 by 10. That's easy enough. And then we know we shifted it over by 2. And what I can do... I know, I'm doing this in, like, the worst way possible. Just give me a bit. I need to... I don't need fill. I need order. Stroke. Pick tool. We use pencil. Did my bidding. Okay, now the other one. And this. Oops. It's 12, right? Plus 3, so 13. That far. Stroke selection. And it's Y. Oh well, I mean, we could just do the other way then. Seems easy otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Alright. Stroke. Stroke line, solid color. Anti-aliasing. Okay. Looks to be like the tiniest bit different by like a whole ass pixel down there. It just seems odd. Why is it different by a whole pixel? Oh, right. It's because of the selection. Gotta love it. That's why as well. Corners are fucking weird. Right, I won't worry too much about it, but duly noted. It'll just be a little quirk that'll be between me and the people in the stream as I draw this out. And I know I could scan my maps. That's a mistake. I know I can scan my maps. I want a consistent look, and without having to worry about my notes being on the map, I suppose. My apologies. I am just aiming to eat the food before it gets cold. That good TV dinner mac and cheese. Basically garbage food. Tastes oh so good. Yeah, that should help curb my hunger a bit. Alright. So that's that. I should be able to better do the other thing, too. Stroke, 6, da-da-da-da-da. What was it? I think it was Control-Shift-X. Or no, Control-Shift-A. This is where I'd rather use the Path tool. Stroke path. Broke. Eraser. Whoops. You'd think I'd just be able to, like, do a straight line and call it that, huh? No siree. Honestly, if I can make this look like a halfway decent spiral staircase thingy, I will just fucking, like, grab this and make a token of it. So I can make it, like, use it to make maps easier in the future. Oh, this is on the walls layer, though. I need to copy and paste it anyway. Oops. Because that would go on the features layer, so I can more easily, like, put that, like, elsewhere. Or possibly part of the floor. Yes, Marnie? Anchor it on the features layer. Yeah, because I tend to work with stuff like that instead. This layer. Because this wall isn't supposed to be here. This was like an added when I got the rectangle drawn out. And I was just too lazy to erase it, but it's supposed to be like a little study area. And of course I can figure out what specifically as well. Why enough to just zap it all? I mean, pretty much. Let's see, established. Oh yeah, I am in focus mode. So I will at the very least talk a little bit about, like, my thought, like, what this is here for. So, Session 0 ultimately led to a lot of creative freedom. in what the players were allowed to do and have, basically. The little checkpoint thing is supposed to be like maybe a quarter into the other things. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's one thing I wish I could do with these. It's make it so I can just snap it to a perfectly straight line. Having to worry about faffing too much about the other elements. Manic. Or not manic, very specific on how I want this to look. I'm being particular. There we go. That's a better word. I'll accept it. I don't like it, but I will accept it. Stroke. It's a bit of fucking feathering, dude. There we go. Figured it out. It's on the furniture layer, which is good. That's where I want it. And I do know that, like, if I do put a token on this map, just to demonstrate really quick, it'll, like, actually be snapped to here. But that's fine, because, like, I don't want this to actually impede progress, but I do want it to be, like, this is someplace where somebody's sitting. And, of course, like, the real world doesn't work in, like, completely perfect 5 foot by 5 foot squares. Boy, would life be annoying if it did. Imagine trying to build a door, and you couldn't build it away from the 5 foot square limit, like at all. But also imagine trying to enter that fucking door. Anyway. As another wall feature, we need a double door here. Stroke. Did you stroke? Oh, wait. Stroke selection. There we go. Because I'm like, the path isn't selected anymore. The fuck? I just hit the wrong option twice. So the path is over here, but it's not in the selection, so it wouldn't do anything. Man. I'm just not going to have a good time with these, aren't, am I? And just difficult to use sometimes, I feel like. I mean, this will work. Feel not happy about it, but it'll work. Okay. That. And then you basically have the equivalent of a double door that is in the wrong spot. It's off center. Why? Double whoops. Surely I can get this thing to work, actually. Suppose not. Sure. Well, that'll work. Alright. Now the door is centered. Better. Ah, hurts my eyes. I can't look at it that far, but I have it designed this way so that way I can clearly see the grid spaces while still having, like, not solid lines. Boy. Okay. At smaller resolutions, this looks absolutely delightful. That is to say, not. Let me double check this spacing for up here. Figures I just used 4. Yep, come here. Correct. Select. Or no. Edit. Stroke selection. Stroke. Leeway there. That extends to the end. At least I feel a little bit more productive. Even if I'm just streaming, you know, muttering to myself mostly. Talking about kind of what I need to do. 7. I almost feel like I need to, like, watch how other people will, like, do their map design stuff. Sides. Speakers fell over. What the heck? I know why it fell over, but that's rude of it. Alright, now I need the ellipses tool. That is the best way. Oh, Square, that's why it's so steep. Or, well, it's supposed to be steeper than that, even. Alright, select tool it is. Or, I'm sorry, path tool. There's the loop. Now I need to grab the... That's more like what I wanted. Yeah, just like that. Construct the path. Like an exact one-to-one. Mostly because of where these like placements end up, but that will suffice. Doesn't have to be perfect, as much as I would like it to be. Just in case of some shit that goes down that we don't want it to go down as. We'll save this so far. Crate folder. Library. But yeah, so as far as like what characters have planned, I have two characters that have the ancient library as a place of interest. One of them has it as a place of interest for the aforementioned goddess trapped in the moon, and the other one because he decided he wanted to be from a village that doesn't really accept magic. That actually works in the setting because historically there is a period of time where magic was like considered a forbidden art because it basically caused the equivalent of a fucking apocalypse. So this is the world after the apocalypse has been mostly recovered from. And so it's not impossible that his village is just behind the times, and him developing magical abilities as a bard is like just something that he wants to like learn about and figure out. Not anything he's had a proper education on, so honestly I think both of those are really, really cool. But oh, there's also some there's some interior walls. I don't know how much further I will go with this. Also just because like I don't want to, like, do this all night, so to speak. Or, well, not necessarily, so to speak. Just... I don't have a need or a desire to do it, like, for most of the night. Probably not too much longer compared to the typical stream time, anyway. It's snapped onto the center point. Of course it wants to do that. There we go. There's a couple of interior walls, furniture. Bow that down! This is cute. This one might just be a matter of copy paste. Though, I still think of the copy paste. Yeah, this will be easier, because these are going to be, like, longer bookshelves. Plural. 3 squares wide. Oops. That changed its aspect ratio. She will insist it is, however. I mean, really quick, it's a quick-ish comparison. This should also turn it off on this appropriate scene. Let's see if I can't, like, line it up appropriately. Oops. It's not perfect, but, like, compared to my crappy hand drawing, and I haven't even, like, begun to get the, diddly-dob staircase down here. But, like, I'm just way more comfortable using GIMP when it comes to drawing my maps. Mostly a me problem. It's perfectly square, and I know where it's going to be. This one's part of the features, not the furniture. That would be funny if I did the features, furniture. Another thing I could do, I suppose... Oh, no, you don't want to fill the path. Stroke selection. Is I could always look into... grabbing... this part's always the hardest. Grabbing, like, pre-made maps that are free. That could be something that I look into. That's something I want to willingly look into, but mostly just because I'm a stickler. Do this, I just thought. Redo control line. Do you not remember the hotkeys? No, never. I know all the hotkeys, including that one. Yeah, you know the one. This into like a decent enough stair, because ultimately. I'm measuring wrong, but that's about 4. We'll put this on the layer above. looks like it could work. Let's see. I'm not actually counting, am I? 2, 3, 4. Line it up. Back! Not the accursed problem! Drawing on the wrong layer! Learning how to do Photoshop, that's like one of the banes of my existence as well. And like, that's a fun fact. I technically know how to use Photoshop. Technically. I mean, associate's degree in multimedia. Like, yeah, I can technically also operate Adobe Premiere. Do I want to? No. Would I if I had to? Yes. Because I've technically learned how to operate, like, most of those programs, honestly. And in fact, in college, when I worked on the paper, I used... What was it fucking called? But it was basically... We basically used it to design newspaper pages. To put it simply. I'm gonna zoom out of this. Right now it looks more like a ladder. But we aren't done with it yet, so... I don't remember what it was called at this time. Fuck me. Oh well. Wasn't that important to begin with, but I don't remember. I'm on the right track to doing something. Wait, not at 4. Did I do any of those with just a gap of 4? Nope, okay. And that should do it. Okay, I do think it needs some additional bits to its design. Because otherwise, we aren't going to know what the hell's going on. Okay. It has an idea. I want to see if it works. I think we'll probably be good with 50. Yes, Marnie Barney? It's about time that you get fed, huh? This is gonna work. Oddness. Some oddness there. Because this is hidden underneath. Nobody will know when I cheat and use the fill tool. Oops. Double oops. How much more goofier do you want me to be? Actually, I suppose if it did overlap it... No, we're gonna try it with the other way. Because if it overlaps it, it'll actually look more like a wall situation. Although then, out of that. Yeah. That would work. So ultimately, the objective is to make sure the very bottom step doesn't get overwritten. Looks a little ladder-esque as is. I don't think it's going to be perfect either way that I try to do it. The other problem is that overlap the outside because of my cheatsy doodle. Not that it's hard to fix. Well, I think no matter which way that you look at it, it looks practically identical. We'll just keep it this way. And then merge down. Now they're both part of the same layer. I think I have a kitty cat to feed. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. This is more progress than I would have gotten done had I not streamed this, so frankly, I considered this a win. You are too high intensity, sir. One thing I will look into, just really quick, is I'm going to crack open the PDF. Oh, where'd you go? Fabula Ultima. Core rulebook. I am not going to specifically put this up on stream, because you still have to buy it. Gruesome good details of opportunistic characters steeped in nihilism, felt the need for a refreshing alternative. Optimistic stories steeped in wondrous aesthetics of the Japanese console RPGs left me speechless as a kid. Publisher's forward. What do I have here? What is this with the 8 pillars? One person is the game master, everyone else is players, the basics of play. Choices, the game master describes what happens. What is this game about? Heroic and fantastic action, heroic destiny, challenging battles. Your world has no default or canonical world, and that's on purpose. Your group will collaboratively create a custom world. The world and characters you create must adhere to 8 core principles known as the 8 pillars, which you can find on the next page. Okay. Not predetermined. It's cities, kingdoms, deities, and cultures or something your group will create. World creation, page 148. Fantastic land will grow organically as you explore and travel across it. Like, obviously, I'm going to read this more on my own time, and that's why you're getting like me reading it aloud. With the 8 pillars, ancient ruins and harsh lands. The world is an ancient, dangerous place. Cities and villages are separated by vast plains, scorching desert freezes. Frozen peaks and impenetrable forests, land is dotted with crumbling fortresses and shrines devoted to deities whose names have been lost to time. Past civilizations. Ages of darkness have left behind a world of powerful artifacts and cryptic legends, as well as magical and often dangerous places. Villages, castles, and city-states are among the few areas that aren't literally crawling with monsters, brigands, and hostile creatures. Far more dangerous still are villains. That's emboldened. Powerful antagonists casting their shadow over the entire land. Gods seeking reincarnation, power-hungry emperors, perhaps even alien entities, clashing communities. Everything has a soul. All matter that fills the world includes creatures. The earth, sky, sun, and stars are part of a vast flow of spiritual energy. It's undeniable anyone possessing the ability to manipulate it is of course to be reckoned with. Magic technology. Science and magic represent 2 different ways of studying and manipulating reality. One concerns itself with the tangible nature of the matter. The other, the souls that dwell within it. Magitech. Protagonists are full-fledged heroes, extraordinary individuals. It's all about the hero's mystery, discovery, and growth. Heroes directly or indirectly. Dramatic plot twists shall happen with the protagonists are present on the scene. Great powers and evils of the world. Okay. So it's very much like grand epic storytelling, just immediately. The intention of the system is even, like, specifying, kind of, that it's like, things happen when your players are around. Not necessarily that things will happen even when they're not around. Go around of hope, friendship, and fighting together. Protagonists often come across from many different backgrounds. The princess who lost her kingdom, the antagonist enemy, the veteran soldier, pledged to protect the people with her life, an experienced hero from a remote village, the dashing sky pirate with a heart of gold. Skies of Arcadia. The old wizard mentor who spent his life searching for a legendary spell, Tella. The Dark Knight seeking redemption for his crimes. Oh, you mean Cecil? Literally all those are just references to just other characters. Across RPGs and JRPGs. High fantasy locations, magic, antagonists. Tales of... these are more... Okay, these are, like, breaking it down a bit. Techno-fantasy themes. The scarred hero who had everything taken from her from the elite. The last survivor from a line of magic users who sought harmony with the world. A former mercenary disgusted by his past actions. A failed experiment who was abandoned by their cold-hearted creator. The wealthy heir who realized her prosperity was built upon the ruin of others. Yeah, those are all characters that exist. That's techno-fantasy, which I have the supplemental material for. No T4s needed. Just kind of group your characters to form. The Guardians of a Miraculous Artifact, Revolutionaries, or heroes brought together by fate. Cooperate with everyone else. I'm just skimming right now because this is still the very early part and it's the introduction. This will take some studying. Here's something I actually want to get into as well. Let me look at character creation. Because game rules are one thing. I can make sense of game rules because from system to system there are some consistencies. Lord. Oh, that's cute. They use a bunch of pixel sprites to represent the inventory and stuff. And I actually do have system module for Fabula Ultima in Foundry. And that's something that I would be delighted to actually get into as well. Sample projects, one of them being a Magitech suit. Session 0. Good, they talk about the Session 0. You talk about your commitment and expectations, tone and themes, rules and challenge, safety. Oh, that's good. Rules creation process. If you want, give your setting a name, even something as simple as Earth, Gaia, or the planet. Choose a shape for the world. Huh. Ooh, this one's very, very, very high skill for the group. Because Session 0 is actually supposed to be everybody sits down and creates the stuff for the world, which is very much a fate. Feel free to use the tables on these pages whenever you're running short on ideas during world creation. I'm sorry? Here we go. This is the bit I want to get. Series of steps similar to world creation. Characters are normally created at level 5, which was mentioned to me earlier. Create character's identity, a short sentence that briefly summarizes how they see themselves at the moment. Choose or create your character's theme, a strong ideal, emotional feeling that dominates your character's actions. Choose or create your character's origin, the place they hail from. You may select a location on their world sheet or add a new one. Choose 2 or 3 classes and distribute your initial 5 levels among them. Take note of the free benefits and skills gained. Determine base die size of your character's 4 attribute scores: Dex, Insight, Might, and Willpower. Calculate your starting HP, MP, inventory points. So IP, defense, magic defense, and initiative modifier. Use a starting budget of 500 zenit. That's cute. To purchase equipment, then add any leftovers to a roll of 2d6 times 10 to determine initial savings. Your character and choose their name and pronouns. Hey! Some example identities: Queen of the Desert Thieves, Elderly Amnesiac Sorcerer, Magitech Scientist, Tormented Veteran, Royal Knight, Battle Priestess of the Old Faith. There's even creation tables to assist you with this. All of them are easy to justify as dump stats for builds. None of them aren't painful to dump. And then theme: ambition, anger, belonging. These are suggested. Vengeance, mercy, justice. A strong ideal or emotion. Describe how it applies to your character. What is their ambition? What duty are they bound by? Who will be the target of their vengeance, etc., etc. Choose or create your origin. Where you hail from? Choose 2 or 3 starting classes in the base system. Arcanist. Chimerist. Learn spells from creatures and speak with people. So just straight up Blue Mage. That's cool. Darkblade. Elementalist. Entropist. Fury. Guardian. Lore Master. Orator. Rogue. Sharpshooter. Spiritist. Tinkerer. Wayfarer. Weapon Master. Chimerist. Blue Mage. I can see that. Entropist. Time Mage. That checks. Okay. That's something I will look into at a later date, but I definitely want to start peeking into it now while on stream. So I did so, and had a reason to continue peeking into it. Elementalist, Black Mage, Spiritualist, White Mage. Fair enough. You start with 5 levels, and you get to distribute them amongst 2. Okay. Meat-O Burrito. Just a second, I need to rename this layer. Now save. Close that up. Alright. I'm gonna end stream here. This was more productive than it normally would have been had I not streamed it, I feel like. Folks, to anybody that hung out, thanks for coming around to stick about and listen to me yap. And then High Fantasy introduces Dancer, Chanter, Symbolist, and Commander. I don't have that expansive book yet, but noted. Ugh. But yeah, if you came here to listen to me yap, I do appreciate it. Let me see if there's anybody that I can just distribute the stream to for rating purposes. Volpixie. I'm gonna choose Volpixie if I can. She's gonna do a subathon, and I want to support her. Damn it. But yeah. Come Sunday, more Dishonored. That much will be a happening. So folks, for those of you that did come along, again, thank you for coming, spending time here, letting me yap at you. Watching me do work very slowly if you were watching. Hopefully you were doing something else. I wouldn't say this is my most entertaining stream. This is definitely something that you put in the background. Maybe I'll do it again sometime just to keep myself working. Treat it like I'm being monitored. But, yeah. Beyond that, folks, please remember, you are always welcome here at Mana's Potion. And I will see you guys next time. Here, let's see if I can actually raid. Yes, good. Good. I will definitely read more into Fabula Ultima as well. Good stuff. Alright, here we go.